So, Carl, let's jump straight to it because we might be on a time restraint. I don't know. This situation with yourself and Anthony Joshua, is this over? Is it done with?
Well, I've not heard from him for a while, so I'm assuming so. It's a bit strange. It kind of, for me, it came out of nowhere. Can't remember what it was. What happened? Did he message me or did I message him? Oh no, he called me a prick. Sorry, stop. He fired the first bullet. He called me a prick, which he's entitled to call me a prick if he wants to, but I thought it was all right of him. I've quite enjoyed his career, quite enjoyed his company at the EIS in Sheffield. I always found him to be a nice guy, proper nice guy. Like, he's a big lad who can fight, can punch hard, but I always found him quite soft and nice and caring. Do you know what I mean? He was always wanted to engage in conversation, and he was I don't know, he was nice to be around. AJ probably still is now. Always smiling. He's quite a funny guy, so I've got no beef with him at all. But obviously, when I'm asked questions about, I don't know, let's go back to Ruiz when he got beat up by Ruiz, got fucking thumped upside the head and his legs were gone, weren't they? And he never recovered. So I talk about that in this kind of tone. This is how my delivery is when I speak. I'm just honest. I don't know. It gets. People don't like it, do they? People are like, oh, he's giving me stick. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you stick. I'm fucking giving you credit where credit's due, and I'm giving you what I consider to be my truth. I'm being honest rather than pulling punches and being a pussy or being controlled or dictated or told what to say or going along with any narrative, whether it's political or whatever the agenda is. I don't go along with it. I just tell you the truth. And do you know what I mean? If AJ puts a good performance in, like when he climbed off the canvas against Klitschko, I'll always say Klitschko was an old man. He was sat on the sofa for 18 months and he fucking made hard work of it, AJ did, but he still climbed off the canvas. That was at Wembley Stadium, wasn't it? 79,000 people were there, so big crowd. And I give him credit for that, man. That was a good win. That was a good win in terms of the way he performed and the way he turned around getting dropped, even though Klitschko stopped throwing punches. But I was honest. I was happy for him, and great. You're now kind of a bona fide world champ after he beat Klitschko. Because when he beat Charles Martin, it was a bit of a gimme fight, wasn't it? Like, who have you beat there, Charles Martin? Come on, can't really call yourself a world champ. And then just recently, I think the reason he called me a prick is because I mentioned he's fighting Dubois for the IBF. I said that should be for the British title, not for a world title. Like, people have tried to give comparisons and said, well, like he said, oh, you beat Pascal for the world title, but the world title was vacant. Yeah, it was. Joe Calzaghe vacated the WBA world title. And then me and Pascal are the number one and number two in line. The next two in line, both unbeaten, both can fight, both hungry, and we fought for the vacant title. That's how it works. If you want to compare it, when Andre Ward beat me, if the IBF belt got taken off Andre Ward and I was going to fight the next in line, say me and George Groves fought for the IBF world title after Ward beat me, that would be the same example or scenario of what AJ's in now. AJ just got beat up, not once, but twice by Usyk. He's not champ anymore. Yeah. Usyk's also beat up Tyson Fury. So Usyk's the main man. Yeah. And then you're going to take the belt off Usyk. And then AJ and Dubois, who have both lost to Usyk, are going to fight for the world title. Well, hang on a minute. The world champion is Alexander Usyk. He's like the undisputed heavyweight world champion. You're taking one of his belts off him when he don't really need to be taken off him, and you're fighting for the belt. So that's like me taking a belt off Ward, or the belt becoming vacant, and me and George Groves fighting for the belt. Yeah, I couldn't call myself a world champion then. Andre Ward's a world champ. So that's all. I didn't even say all that. I didn't explain it like that, but that justifies to all the haters and all the knobheads that want to come on here and say, oh, Froch is out of order. You can't say that, blah, blah, blah. And AJ said, I fought for the vacant title against Pascal. I did, yes. But look what Pascal went on to do after I beat him. He became the unified light heavyweight champ and had an amazing career. And it's not giving stick for the sake of giving it. But AJ Dubois, I think when I mentioned that fight shouldn't be for the IBF world title, which I still don't think it should, because the world champion is Usyk. And I think when Usyk fights Fury in the rematch, that should be for undisputed. Do you agree that fight should be for undisputed when they have the rematch?
Yeah, so listen, I hear your comments, and I agree to a certain degree regarding the IBF situation, which we know was always pending around this time off the back of
Not after Hrgovic. When Hrgovic lost to
but we
Dubois.
knew this IBF situation was coming, Cole. This wasn't a surprise that this IBF situation was coming.
Yeah, but why take the IBF title off Fury before the rematch with Usyk?
That's an issue for the IBF more so than whether it's Joshua.
Hey, you know as well as I do, it's politics. You know, Eddie Hearn spoke to Lindsay Tucker, whoever he spoke to, and they've made that title become vacant. So AJ Dubois can fight for a world title. It's fucking paper title, mate. It's not real. Whoever wins that fight between AJ and Dubois, and I'm not just giving AJ stick here, Dubois as well, because Dubois might win. He might chin AJ. It's possible. I think AJ wins. You can't really call yourself a world champion. All right, you'll have the IBF world belt, but the champ's Usyk. That's it. Fucking done. Full stop. Period. No, there's nothing else to say. And because I've said that, and because 99.9% people agree with me, except for people like you who are journalists and don't want to upset AJ and don't want to upset Eddie and don't want to upset Bricktop. So you're all gagged. You're all like, oh, I don't know what to fucking. I can't speak. And if you could see Cougar now, he'll probably cut it out. He's laughing. He's agreeing with me.
I'm not cutting nothing out, but do you accept that?
You know what I'm saying's right. You know what I'm saying's right. But I'm not having a go. And the question was, what's happening with AJ? So AJ saw that and thought, you know what, Froch is fucking right here. Froch is spot on, but it's still pissing me off. So I'm going to call him a prick. So he calls me a prick. That's fine. Call me a prick. But then when I ring you or send you a message and say, let's have a chat while you call me a prick, because I've got 50 journalists phoning me up saying, why has AJ called you a prick? My phone's ringing off the hook and I'm getting loads of messages. I'm like, why am I telling people why he said this to me? So anyway, you're bringing up old shit now, but I'm going into it.
I spoke to you, so I'm entitled to bring it up. And you said,
no, exactly, that's true. So anyway, let me go back. So he's called me a prick, and I wanted to talk to him, so I messaged him, and he won't talk to me. He won't pick the phone up, so he's messaging me back and forth. If I'd exposed the messages he sent me, I'm not exposing it because I'm protecting him more than anything. Because some of the messages were horrible. Some of
why
them were
did you
quite.
put some of the messages out though? Have you got a bit of stick for that?
Because I wanted to talk to him, and I thought, well, if you can't talk to me and you won't have a conversation with me, then what else can I do? Use it to my advantage. Stick it on my channel, get a load of views. Fuck the world. Fuck you lot. I don't care, do I? I'm not interested. So if you pick the phone up, we wouldn't have been in a position where it got exposed. And the only reason anybody would be bothered about me exposing that is because they know I'm right, and whoever else is involved is in the wrong, because you don't carry on like that. And there's loads of abuse. He sent me quite a bit of abuse, to be honest, which I won't go into. It's quite funny, some of it, like some mad pictures of some gonzo with a big fucking wobbly nose, like, and he's giving my old nose stick, and little things like that. Which to be fair, I don't mind it. I take it on the chin, mate. You know me. Give me all you got. I'll take it, and I'll come back with a bit more, and I'll laugh it off. But I've got no real, to answer your question, I've got no beef with AJ. I admire him and I respect him, and I mean that. I do admire and respect him, but that doesn't mean I have to do what 95% of you lot do, and I'm saying you lot, and talk bullshit and say and stroke egos and let people hear what they want to hear, because they might not get access, or they might not be allowed into the next press conference, or they might not be allowed to sit ringside at the next fight, because or it won't speak to him anymore. Tyson Fury banned fucking TalkSport from the boxing, and then because the BBC did something, I won't go into that. Then Turkey Sheikh went back to TalkSport and said, "Oh, do you want to come to the boxing?" Do you know what I mean? Because BBC now no longer there because of something they did. Allegedly, they did a program that was about Saudi that wasn't received very well by the Saudis. So now TalkSport are on the boxing. But are we living in a world where free speech is dead? Well, it appears that we are in every walk of life. And you know, you got to be careful what you say, or you got to be careful who you upset, even if you're telling the truth, or even if you're telling what you believe to be the truth. So, which means you've got an opinion. At what stage are we not allowed an opinion? And that's why there's a lot of problems at the minute in the world. That's why mainstream media now it's not respected anymore. Like, mainstream media is not respected because they just push their narrative, and people go, hang on a minute, that's not true. What are you talking about? Let me have a look at some alternative news. Let me see what Tucker Carlson's got to say. Let me see what Russell Brand's got to say. Let me listen to what they're. Oh, Andrew Tate, what's he up to? What's he saying? And then they start to go, hang on a minute. So that's actually what happened on that scenario, was it? Not what we saw on the mainstream media. And that's what's happening in all industries, and it happens in boxing. If I say something that upsets somebody like Anthony Joshua, I just say I think that this fight shouldn't be for the IBF world title because there's only one champion. His name's Alexander Usyk. They should fight for the final eliminator. AJ and Dubois should be fighting. The winner of that fight should get the right to fight the champ, whether that's going to be Usyk or Tyson Fury. That's what that fight should be. That fight should not be for the IBF title. And Kugan Cassius, you totally 100% agree with what I've just said there, don't you?